Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Sir, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
ఇది ఇంకోటి ఉంది దగ్గర లైన్ ఇది ఏమన్నా ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది దీంతో ఇది మొత్తం చేసా హలో హలో
Hello, sir.
హలో
Sir, very good afternoon.
Sir, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you, sir. You can continue.
హలో
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir,
We
good
can hear you.
afternoon.
Joel.
హలో
Sir, we are able to hear, sir.
Sir, you're in mute, sir. We can't hear you.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, unmute చేసుకోండి సార్, ఏం వినిపించట్లేదు.
ఓకే
Yes, sir. Now we are able to hear. Sir, again it's gone.
హలో ఎస్ హలో Okay, so there are some therapies today we will discuss. One is that One is the therapy that is related to group therapy. Already we discussed previously group therapy as well as the individual therapies. The group means there are some individuals having the same issue, maybe the same problem. Okay. So we need to consider the same issue of the group members so that we can have some common objectives of that group. And before forming the group, that is our responsibility to find the common issue of that particular group. Yeah. Then we already discussed the individual counseling also. Okay. In that individual counseling, one is the individual issue. The issue is individual issue. The issue is only with the particular individuals, not with other group members in the group. Okay, that we already discussed in the previous class. Now, the next one, that is some other technical issues. Those are one important thing is that how to communicate this, how you communicate. Maybe some verbal communication, some are the non-verbal communication. Okay, in this non-verbal communication, so in the non-verbal communication, we have to see that some cues or some gestures, or you can say voice modulation. So in verbal communication, sound and tone of voice, language, these things are main in verbal communication. So here in the verbal communication of counseling, we need to have our voice modulation, proper voice modulation, and some language, proper language that is understandable to any other members in the group as well as the individuals. Okay. Yes. Another thing is that non-verbal skills, or you can say non-verbal communication. In the non-verbal communication, our body language and how you maintain your eye contact, then facial expressions. Okay, these are all some non-verbal communication techniques. In any type of therapy, in any type of counseling, that is non-verbal as well as verbal communication techniques. These are the skills we have to use in the counseling process. Yeah. Another techniques of counseling is that one is impulsive therapy. That impulsive therapy, also known as the emotional flooding, means whatever the emotions, better to share those emotions to somebody. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So here, these emotional disturbances, what are the emotional imbalancing in the mind, that should be shared with somebody. Then it is easy to ventilate our emotions. Once we ventilate our emotions, some sort of relief, some type of relief can be achieved by the client, or you can say some patient. And another therapy is the aversion therapy. Aversion therapy is the therapy that is used for drug addiction cases, like substance abuse, drug addictions. Okay. Yeah. So here in this case, cases like alcohol addiction, maybe cigarette smoking, or we can say some type of drugs. So this therapy is nothing but aversion. They'll have some sort of negative response by seeing those substances. As I mentioned, some 3 or 4 substances. Okay, that is aversion therapy. One is therapy that is impulsive. What are the impulses? You know, there are some personality clusters. Cluster A, cluster B, and cluster C personality. In cluster B personality, if the person is having the cluster B personality, some impulsivity, or you can say whatever they wanted to do, they'll do it in this impulsive type of personality. Yeah. So here in this impulsive therapy, whatever their impulsive thoughts, or you can say impulsive ideas, as I mentioned, in this impulsivity, they will do whatever they wanted to do. They won't bother about the consequences. So here in this impulsive therapy, emotional flooding. So the main root cause of their impulsivity is some sort of emotions, maybe. That is the reason we ask the patient to share the emotion, or you can say if they share their emotions, if we use this site of impulse therapy, or you can say emotional flooding, some anxiety will be reduced. In order to reduce the anxiety of the patient, in order to reduce the anxiety of the client, we use this type of therapy. Then, as I mentioned, aversion therapy, or you can say aversion techniques. In this aversion therapy or aversion technique, in case of substance abuse, in the case of substance abuse, by seeing these substances, they will have some sort of aversion in their mind. Okay, uneven moderated behavior, for also we can use this aversion therapy. Moderated behavior means in the new environment, they won't be in a position to adjust. If the environment is changed, they will show some type of moderated behaviors. So in this case also, we use this aversion therapy. In aversion therapy, some type of control, we will train the patients to control their these addictions by explaining the various consequences of these habits. Then another one is systematic desensitization, or you can say this systematic desensitization we use in case of phobic conditions, phobias, any sort of phobias like hydrophobia, hytophobia. Okay, so we have some types of phobias. In order to address these phobias, we use systematic desensitization technique. And in behavior modification also, for example, the child is having some behavioral issues. In order to modify their behaviors also, we use systematic use of reinforcers. This systematic use of reinforcers is propounded by B.F. Skinner in operant conditioning theory. We have some theories. One is classical conditioning theory, second is the operant conditioning theory. In operant conditioning theory, when we modify the behavior of any individual or the person, we use some positive reinforcers. When the child or when the person is modify his behavior, we provide some positive reinforcers. So here, systematic use of positive reinforcers are one technique in this counseling practice. That reinforcers may be positive reinforcers or negative reinforcers. If you want to control his problematic behaviors, we use some negative reinforcers. Yeah, somebody is asking which unit is going on. 12th unit is going on now. Okay, unit 12. Soumya, am I audible? Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're absolutely audible. Thank you.
Okay. Then systematic desensitization. Okay. Systematic desensitization means we see there are three important terms in the systematic desensitization. One is sensitization, second is desensitization, third is systematic desensitization, means step-by-step desensitization. I repeat, sensitization, desensitization, systematic desensitization. Okay. For example, sensitization means some type of emotional disturbances like fear. You can say negative emotion, fear, then anger, especially fear. Like, for example, if there is any phobic condition of the individual, for example, if the individual is not in a position to reach the third floor of a building, that means he is suffering with some heightophoobia, fear of heights. Okay, in that case, we use this systematic desensitization technique. In this systematic desensitization, whatever his fear, that means sensitizing of some negative emotions. Okay. So in this negative emotional sensitizations, sensitizing the fear when he reached the third floor. What we do, we won't take him to the third floor because he's having some emotional issues when he reached the third floor. That is the reason ask him to reach the first floor. In systematic desensitization, stepwise, or you can see it is also known as the progressive relaxation. In this systematic desensitization, we use progressive relaxation. Means we ask them to go to the first floor first. Okay. There, after reaching the first floor, they'll think on their own. Why I am thinking, why I'm fearing about the first floor? What is there? Nothing is here. So this type of relaxation techniques, we train them. We train the individual to use these relaxation techniques, or you can say deep muscle relaxation. There are some hierarchies. There are some step-by procedures in this technique, like systematic desensitization, sensitization, desensitization, and systematic desensitization. So the three important steps in this technique. I can say it's a construction of a hierarchies. It is also known as the progress relaxation. Means a relaxation, stepwise relaxation. As I mentioned, ask the patient to reach the first floor first. Then ask them to relax if they have that fear of height. Ask them to relax for some time there in the first floor. We have to do for 3 or 4 times in the same manner. Then ask them to go to the second floor. Same procedure you have to follow. Means when they reach the second floor, the same procedure you have to follow. Once they reach the second floor, the same procedure like to the third floor also. Okay. Yeah. So this is one technique in this process. Systematic. You can say it is a systematic desensitization. Why you call it as a systematic? There are 3 steps in the systematic. One is the sensitization. Second is the desensitization. Third is the systematic desensitization. Means stepwise procedure. As I mentioned, if they have the fear of heights, ask them to reach first floor, then second floor, then third floor, so that they can easily have some type of relaxation when they have the fear. Okay. Then next one is assertive training. In assertive training, so whatever we instruct to the patients, so we have to explain them in an assertive manner. Or you can say from the patient's side, we have to understand in an assertive manner. Okay. So that is one important technique in this assertive training. And we will move to the next unit. That is, as I mentioned, there are some system of communication. One is verbal communication and the non-verbal communication. What are the counseling maybe? That may be individual counseling or the other group counseling. This sort of communication, it is better whenever it is needed. If the person is not in a position to understand your language, better to use some non-verbal cues, or you can say non-verbal techniques of communication. Sometimes he may not be in a position to understand the language, or especially in the first and second sessions of counseling, they will have some disturbances of emotions. That is the reason they won't share their feelings. In the case, as I mentioned, in that case also, we use non-verbal communications. Okay. So in non-verbal communication, main is eye contact, touching, head nodding, and your cues. Yeah. Now,
Sir, one question, sir.
there are some other types of counseling. One is family counseling. Another is marital, and in marital also there are two types. One is premarital and post-marital cases. Okay. As we know, we have some needs of human, or you can say Abraham Maslow's needs of human being. In this Abraham Maslow's needs, one is basic needs, or you can say first starter needs. In first starter needs, like hunger, thirst, and oxygen for breathing. These are the basic needs. So in the same way, in order to fulfill the individual's basic needs, marriage is one of the important aspects. Okay. So we have one important need of companionate, or you can say one important need of human being is companionate love, companionate need. Okay. Here, affectionate need also one of the important need in this hierarchy of Abraham Maslow. Or you can say basic needs as well as the psychological needs. In psychological needs, love and affection from the family members. For example, if they got married, there are some benefits of the marriage as well as the family. One is physical health will be improved, psychological health will improve. Okay. That is the reason marriage is an important need in the human beings. So in this counseling of marriage, some important steps, that is premarital counseling as well as the postmarital counseling. Okay. In the premarital counseling, so before going to the marriage counseling, deals with the some sort of premarital issues. Okay. So maybe some thing they wanted to go for the counseling. One is the how to choose the companionate, how to choose the person. Okay. So in order to fulfill these needs, how to get married, the age, then profession, financial status. Okay. So these are all the things that we need to go for counseling procedures. So there are some factors affecting the marital life, like some immediate wants. If these needs are not met, if these needs are not fulfilled, so this leads some disturbance in the marital life. Okay. So that is one important one. Second is the how to communicate each other. That is also because of some communication issues. So this is the problem will be arising in the marital life. Then self-esteem, to fulfill the self-esteem of the husband as well as the wife, the counseling is needed. Then in some cases, communication gap is one important factor of marital issues. In that case, if it is such that cases, in that particular, as I mentioned in the problem of communication gap, if we find, then better to go for counseling to reduce the communication gap. Okay. Okay. Now, so interests of the each person, both sides, their compatibility, then empathy. Yeah. So that is also one important thing you need to go for the counseling process. Okay. Then how their social needs, whether the social needs are fulfilled or not. These things also we need to check in this process. So not only the marital, premarital or postmarital, any sort of counseling. So the role of the therapist, or you can say psychologist, is so important. Okay. Then whether their basic needs are fulfilled or not, that is also we better to check. In some cases, gender domination is also one important issue in the marital counseling. Got it? Yeah, yes. That in some cases, they have some sort of confusions how to choose their other spouse. What are the main needs to be fulfilled in this relation? So if there is such a confusion, again, they need some help from the therapist. As I mentioned earlier classes, maybe directional, non-directional, or eclectic, or you can say mixed counseling is needed, depending on the case, depending on the age, depending on their issue. Yeah. Yeah. And families also some issues in the family, like financial aspects, professional aspects, that is issues related to the children. Okay. And after getting the relation, maybe some issues that is known as the postmarital issues. Okay, because the role will be changed on the both sides. Previously, before getting the relation, the role will be somehow different once they come to the relations. The role will be multi-role they need to play. That is the reason they will be in a conflict state. Yeah. Yes. So in that particular case also better to give proper counseling to the issues. And some financial issues also may be there within the family. In some cases, they will have some stressful conditions, or you can say they will depress with their unaddressed issues. Okay, so in that particular cases also better to go for the proper counseling procedures. If there is any emotional issues, better to address those emotional issues. If there is any problems related to their financial aspects, those things also better to address. And in next one is the counseling for elders. Elderly, or you can say elderly problem, counseling for elderly problems.
నుంచి 3 ఏళ్ళు వెనక లాయర్ గారు ఏమన్నారంటే 90 తర్వాత నుంచి కట్టినట్టు కావాలని చెప్తున్నారు. మానవ జనసేనా మూడున్నర సంవత్సరాలుగా అరౌండ్ అంటే 90 తర్వాత నుంచి ఎవరిగా చేస్తున్నట్టు దానికి
Hello, am I audible? Okay, fine. Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Oh, yes. Good, good. Ramaji, good. So next one is the elderly counseling. Okay. How to go for the elderly counseling? Yeah, some issues related to the elderly. One is their problem of age related issues. Okay. Then counseling assistant to this population stress. Okay. Okay. Okay, no? So you do one thing. We have some other disturbances here. Better to wait for 5 minutes. Okay, I'll come back, please. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We'll wait.
Good afternoon, sir. Can anyone hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. The class is going on or still we are in pause?
Class is not going on. Sir says some disturbances are there. We'll continue within 5 minutes, but he did not continue.
That's what I was waiting and I was thinking that maybe I have been left off.
No.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's